Hello you lovely bunch. Firstly, thank you for showing interest in this video. I really do hope it can help you out because, like I said in the email, I was in that position before where I knew I needed to work out my macros to be able to achieve my goal faster, but I didn't know how to do that. And there were 1,000,001 different sources online that were telling me different things. So I want to give you a step-by-step guide on how you can work out your specific macros. Now, firstly, you may have come across online calculators that can work out your macros for you. However, they're not going to be very accurate. And that's because it doesn't take into consideration your current calorie intake day to day. It just bases it off your body weight, your age, your activity level, and your height. So they're just generic numbers. We're going to go through this step by step, and at the end, you're going to be able to calculate your specific macros. I'm going to take you through an example as well, so you can just pause the video at certain stages and just write out your specific numbers. So let's get started. Okay, so step number 1. I want you to track everything that you eat and drink for 1 week. Use an app called MyFitnessPal, which is the calorie tracker. Don't change your diet at all. Just track everything that goes in there. Everything for 1 week. That is it. Step number 2. Alongside tracking your calories, also track your body weight, your fasted body weight. So first thing in the morning, as soon as you wake up, do your business in the toilet, jump on the scales and write down what your fasted body weight is. Don't weigh yourself at the gym or in the evening because it's going to be skewed. It needs to be first thing in the morning. Now, once you have this data, after 7 days of tracking both of these metrics, you're going to need to work out the average for both. So I'm sure many of you know how to work out the average. You take the sum of all 7 numbers and then divide it by 7. So let's run through an example. Here's one I drew up earlier. Let's take this person. We're going to call him Jim for argument's sake. Jim has tracked his calories and his body weight for 7 days. You can see days 1 to 7 here. Day number 1, he eats 2,300 calories. Day number 2, 2,200, so on and so forth. And then he's tracking his body weight. As you can see, Monday 80, 80.1, 80.1, 80, blah, blah, blah. His body weight is not changing that much. But the main thing we want to look at here is the number at the bottom. So I've taken these 7 numbers, added them together, divided them by 7 to give me 2,329, which is the average. And then his body weight, I'm going to do exactly the same thing. Add all these numbers up, divided by 7, which gives me 80. Just bear in mind these numbers are a bit rounded up or down. It doesn't need to be exactly to the correct decimal point. Okay, so now we've got our average calorie intake as well as our average body weight across the week. Now, this is where it's going to get a bit more specific to you. Depending on your goal, depends whether you need to increase or decrease your calories from this point. If you want to, say, lose body fat and, like Jim here for instance, your body weight has stayed pretty consistent across the week, that tells me that this is your maintenance calories, which means if you were to stay on this number of calories, your body weight wouldn't really change that much, which means you're at maintenance level. So Jim here wants to lose body fat. So a good starting point would be to take away 200 to 300 calories from this number to put him into a calorie deficit. If you wanted to gain muscle, you'd need to be in a calorie surplus. So he may add 200 to 300 calories onto this number. Or if you wanted to stay around maintenance, just continue eating that number. Spot on. Let's run through another example, for instance. Say, for instance, this calorie target was the same, but your body weight was going up consistently over the course of the week. It started at 80, ended up at 82 kilos by the end of the week. You can pretty safely say that you're already in a calorie surplus. So if your goal was to lose body fat, you'd need to decrease your calories potentially by about 300 to 400 maybe to put you in a deficit. Or alternatively, just move more. It's about energy balance, remember. It's not just calorie manipulation. It's calories in versus calories out. So once you've got your goal in mind and you know now the number of calories you need to be hitting, you can then work out your macros. So we're gonna, for argument's sake, pretend that Jim here wants to stay at maintenance calories, just so we don't have to change this number and overcomplicate things. So we're going to break it down into protein, fats and carbs and work out each one that's going to be best for Jim here. So firstly, protein. So we're going to take his lean body mass and times it by 2.2. Now, if you are an individual that's holding on to a little bit more body fat than most, you need to work out what your lean body mass is first. It's not going to be what your body weight is. It's two different things. So go online, go onto an online calculator. These online calculators will actually be able to help you a little bit. Type in lean body mass calculator and you can work out what your lean body mass is, and then times that number by 2.2. Jim here, he's already quite lean, so we can just times his body weight by 2.2. And that gives us our protein goal of 176 grams. Now bear in mind, this is 176 grams. That doesn't tell us how many calories we need to be getting in from protein. So for every gram of protein, there's 4 calories. So we're going to take this number and times it by 4 to give us the total number of calories we're taking in from protein. So as you can see down here, I've worked that out. Where is it? 176 times 4 is 704. That's a number that we're going to need to use a bit later on in the final calculation to work out carbohydrates. But so we're just going to keep that in mind for now. Right, so once we've got the protein in terms of grams and the calories from actual protein, we can move on to fats. As a general guide, you want about 20% of your calories per day to come from healthy fats. So we're going to take the calorie target of 2,329 and times that by 0.2, which would give us 20% of that number. So 2,329 times 0.2 equals 465.8. I'm going to round that up to 466. And that gives us the total calories we're taking in from fat. So now we need to do the opposite of what we did with protein. We're going to divide that number by 9 because there are 9 calories per gram of fat. Are you with me? Stay with me, all right? We're getting there. So we take 466, we divide it by 9, which gives us 51.7. I'm going to round that up to 52 grams of fat. So we've got 176 grams of protein, 52 grams of fat so far. Finally, carbohydrates. You literally just want to fill in the rest of your diet with carbohydrates. So we did the calculation earlier to work out how many calories we're getting from protein, which would be 176 times 4, which is 704. We're then going to add 704 to the total number of calories we are getting from fats, which is 466. That gives me 1,170. I'm then going to take my total calorie target and minus 1,170, which is going to give me a remainder of 1,159 calories, and that is how many calories we'll be getting from carbohydrates. To work out how many grams, similar to protein, there is 4 calories per gram of carbohydrates. So we're going to take that number and divide it by 4, which gives us 290 grams. And that is how you work it out. It's as simple as that. I mean, it may not have come across so simple, but if you follow this step by step, just pause the video in specific places, you'll be able to work out the numbers for you as well. Now, if you input the total calorie target onto MyFitnessPal, you'll be able to adjust the protein, fat, and carbohydrate sliders to try to hit these numbers as close as possible. Just bear in mind, you're probably not going to be able to hit them bang on, but you can try to get as close as possible. The main one you really want to try and get as close as you can is the protein. So now you've got your calorie intake to help you take steps closer to your goal, along with your macro breakdown. It's just a case of being consistent, trying to hit that calorie target and the macro targets every single day, and adjusting accordingly based on your body weight, the visual look, and your performance in the gym. They're the 3 things you really want to track. You don't have to be overly obsessive with your tracking, just, as long as you're tracking your body weight 3 to 4 times a week so you can get a general trend. There's a really good app that I recommend called Happy Scale, so you can track all your numbers in there. It tells you the average increase or decrease across the week as well, because you are going to get day-to-day fluctuations. The main thing you want to look at is the average of week 1, compare it to the average of week 2, and so on. And then, like I said, just adjust your calories accordingly. If the goal is to burn body fat and your body weight starts to plateau a little bit, remember comparing the averages, not day-to-day fluctuations. Either decrease your calories a little bit or increase your expenditure, and vice versa. If you're trying to gain muscle and your body weight starts to stall a little bit, or performance in the gym starts to stall, think about increasing your calories by 1 to 200, or just move a bit less. And that is it, my people. If you've got absolutely any questions at all, please DM me on Instagram. It's Jan_Pex, and I'm more than happy to help. If you want to see any other videos like this as well, please let me know, and we'll leave it there.